You know, the way we see our leaders in public and what they really are in private are two very different things. Because what we see in public is the image they cultivate, what they want us to believe. But I'm afraid for you to do effective political analysis, you need to understand the character of a man. Because many of you have been shooting back at me. Chris, why are you so sure there's no handshake? Chris, why are you talking like that? And on my show today, I will do more than touch on that. But first of all, I want to take you back to history so that we understand what is happening now much more clearly. Did you know there was a day that Raila Amolo Odinga cried tears? Those who were there were shocked. In fact, they were more than shocked. They could not believe what they were seeing. But that's not all. Raila's words. Raila was saying, and I quote, "I don't want to go to Kibaki. Please save me from Kibaki." What? Please stay with me. I will come back to that in a bit. Let's start this story from the beginning so that all the facts fall in neatly into place. In case you have placed all your hope in a handshake between Ruto and Raila, and then everything will go back to normal, things in Kenya will be okay. Yeah? I repeat once again, there will be no handshake. Why? Well, let's start with the characters of the individuals who are in this drama. And instead of going back to history, this time, let us talk about what is happening currently to prove this point. Yeah? What you saw in the news a few hours ago, what you're seeing unfolding in the country called Kenya. Now, yesterday, somebody was trying to force the attention of Kenyans to the drama, yeah, in my view, the stage managed drama in State House, where Ruto alisomea wakubwa, okay? He lectured cabinet secretaries and permanent secretaries. The long and short of what he was telling them is that so far they have proved to be incompetent. They don't know their work. They have no idea what they're doing. Even more telling was the tweet from somebody very close to President Ruto, yeah, a very close aide, a man called Dennis Itumbi, who described the situation in Gate D of State House, yeah, where according to Itumbi, very many senior government officials were packed, shut out of the meeting because they came in late. And of course, Kenyans drank in this drama with glee. Kenyans were very happy because, let's face it, people really like it when the high and mighty seem to have run into some problem. A full cabinet minister, a cabinet secretary, ambaye anapeperusha bendera, goes in a vehicle with the Kenyan flag at the front, is locked out of a meeting. Hiyo ni mshene tamu sana. Mshene tamu. And of course, in such an environment, it is very easy to forget a number of key facts at play here. Okay? Number one, when people you have appointed do not perform, yeah, what do? Very simple. You fire them and you appoint others who can do the job. But here is a situation where that seems to be not an option. Why? Because the whole objective of this drama is, number one, to divert attention away from where the attention of Kenyans is right now, laser focused. Cost of living. Divert the attention of Kenyans from what they're going through, cost of living, Finance Bill 2023, into some drama in State House, where a full cabinet secretary is locked out of a meeting. Indeed, a very senior and powerful cabinet secretary, Kithure Kindiki, in charge of interior, locked out of a meeting. Wow, that is huge. And so your attention is diverted away. Number two, you put these talks, upcoming talks which are supposed to start immediately, you put that in the back burner. Yeah. And of course, if it stays long enough in the back burner, it may just vanish. Yeah. And you focus on the drama and the good performance of President Ruto. Which other president has done this? Locked out cabinet secretaries who are late. Which other one? Ruto is the first one. Huh? This is an exceptional leader. Very brave leader. Courageous. He will change Kenya. That is the UDA narrative. And I don't buy it even for a second. You see, Nunui. Because as people enjoying this drama in the country called Kenya, nothing has changed. In fact, things are getting worse by the day. The suffering of Kenyans may have been bearable if something was being done, if it was being addressed. However, in this situation, trust me, it is not being addressed and it will never be addressed. Why? Because if we want to look at the characters of the major players, both Raila and Ruto in this, but right now we're on Ruto, yeah, you will realize that a man called William Samoei Ruto does not have a reverse gear. Ile gear ya kurudi reverse. Now, you know, in the wisdom of car manufacturers, every car, every vehicle, even trucks, have a reverse gear. Okay? And in this life, if you do not have a reverse gear, sooner or later, you're going to run into problems. Because in this life, it doesn't matter where you are, what you do, what you're involved in, what your environment is. Trust me, you need a reverse gear. Because life is give and take. Now, Ruto does not have a reverse gear. Let me prove it to you. When Ruto fell out with Uhuru, during the fourth president's tenure, okay, several times President Uhuru Kenyatta tried to reach out to Ruto so that they find a way to work together, even as the handshake with Raila Odinga was in place. You know what happened? This information is in the public domain. Ruto does not have a reverse gear. He completely rejected any advances from President Uhuru Kenyatta as long as the handshake was in place. He was not ready to discuss anything else. And immediately he launched his campaign for the presidency. And he rushed to Mount Kenya, where he already knew that the House of Mumbi had a few issues with the president then. And he incited them to his side. This man does not have a reverse gear. Allow me another quick example. 2008, okay, after the clashes, after so many Kenyan lives had been lost, after all the suffering Kenyans were going through, because the country had ground to a halt, Raila Odinga decided to negotiate with Emilio Stanley Mwai Kibaki. Ruto was livid. He was more than annoyed. How? We're putting so much into this campaign. Why do we need even to give half the government to Kibaki? The whole government belongs to us. What is wrong with you, Raila? You know what happened? The man has no reverse gear. Now, while before it would not have been of great concern because he was not the president, now his character, and especially this fact that the man has no reverse gear, is of great, critical, worrying, disturbing concern to every Kenyan. Because for you to negotiate, and we are told there's some negotiations about to start, how do you negotiate and you don't have a reverse gear? And I believe the events of yesterday proves this irrefutably. Because in the mind of President Ruto, everything should go on as normal. So we're treated to this drama at State House. And next time we'll be treated to another drama. And life will move on. And sooner or later, mtasahau hiyo maneno ya cost of living, mtasahau hiyo maneno ya electoral justice. Hiyo ni nini? Now, earlier I mentioned that incident of Raila breaking down and crying tears because of a man called Mwai Kibaki. Now, we have a lot of evidence to prove that the character of Mwai Kibaki was very similar to the character of William Samoei Ruto. Experts in psychology will tell you that both men fit into the category these experts call narcissists. It is narcissist Kibaki who made Raila Odinga break down into tears of frustration. I don't want to go back to Kibaki, Raila's words. Please save me from Kibaki, Raila's words. You know, in all the drama that unfolded in the country called Kenya during the Grand Coalition government, where Kibaki had to work with Raila, Raila really suffered. At one point at Kilaguni Lodge, where both sides of the coalition had met to iron out differences, Raila Odinga later described to his colleagues what was supposed to be a face-to-face meeting with Kibaki. Yeah, this is covered very well in Miguna's book, Peeling Back the Mask. Now, Miguna is many things, but one thing I know about this very abrasive, controversial lawyer is that he does not tell lies. And in Peeling the Mask, those scenes he describes are authentic. They're the truth. He might want to skew them in his favor to push his agenda. Yeah, but then the basic facts, I believe and have confirmed, are correct. So Raila describes this meeting, which was supposed to be a face-to-face meeting with Kibaki at Kilaguni Lodge. Kibaki was behind a fully drawn curtain, which you could not see through. And Raila was seated in the rest of the room. And they were trying to have a discussion. And at first Raila thought that maybe the old man was changing, or maybe he was using the washroom or something. But then he soon realized that Kibaki was just standing behind the curtain, speaking to him behind the curtain. In other words, Kibaki did not want to face Raila. Maybe he felt it was beneath him to have a face-to-face discussion. So he was trying to have this discussion while he's behind a fully drawn curtain. What? I think now you'll begin to understand why gallant, brave, fearless Raila Odinga would have been brought into this situation where he cried real tears of frustration. Okay? Because he was dealing with a narcissist. Okay? Just do your research. Those are not people you want to joke around with. Those are not people you want to negotiate anything with. Ask me, I know. I faced a narcissist head on, and for years I never realized that this woman was a narcissist. I only realized it very late. And it was some of you who helped me at that point where I lost my wife and had so many questions. yeah, somebody who's a psychiatrist on this channel, came to my side and helped me through a lot of things. And finally I began to understand what this thing I used to read about in books, novels, see it in movies. I started realizing hii kitu haiko majuu peke yake. It is a worldwide disease. And there are some people who have that character. And if you're unfortunate enough even to get married to a narcissist, I would not wish that even on my worst enemy. It is an ordeal and a half, and then some. But fortunately for Raila, he has the experience. He has been here before. And therefore it is very easy to see how Raila in his mind knows exactly how this thing is going to play out. Okay? But then this is politics. He doesn't want to look like he's the hardliner, that he doesn't want peace. He doesn't want to look like he's sumbua. Yeah? And he has no real agenda for a better Kenya. And so he has to play along with the script. Even the parts he knows very well how they will end. Because the truth is, Ruto has no reverse gear. Just like Mwai Kibaki had no reverse gear. Now I can hear somebody asking me, so how is it that Kibaki finally signed the coalition agreement for the Grand Coalition government? Good question. I will tell you how it happened. Now the negotiations had reached a part where the late Kofi Annan was totally frustrated. He had given up. Even calls from the Secretary of State, Kibaki was ignoring. Yeah? And so the Americans played their last card. Okay? A message was sent to President Kibaki that if there is no agreement within a certain period of time, then the Mzungus would have no option but to remove him using jeshi, okay, military means. Folks, that is what got Kibaki's signature in the coalition agreement. But then those who have studied this period in Kenyan history will know that the way that coalition government went, it was not according to the contract. There was nothing like equal partners. Nothing like that. What happened is that there was a president and then there was a junior partner, almost the messenger, Raila Odinga and ODM. That's how it went. In other words, Mwai Kibaki signed that contract, but still he did not engage his reverse gear. He remained at the same place. He was the president. He was in charge. Everything had to revolve around him. Period. I hope now we understand a little more about what we should expect from these negotiations and where they're going to take us as a country. Now, yesterday I did a video about the month of August. And please remember, we are still deep in the period, in the season of judgment from Almighty God. Now, in my video yesterday, I forgot to say that this big terrible event that I'm expecting in the month of August is part of judgment of the Almighty God upon the nation called Kenya. In case you've not taken in that video, I highly recommend that you take it in, so that you understand where we are and where we're going with this jinxed month, some people call it that, of August. The year is 2023, where many believe the prophecy we were given in 2017, overturn, will finally be completed and fulfilled. Okay? Very quickly before I go, please find the time to take a look at my latest offer on weekly intelligence briefings. I'm just about to release number 113, WIB number 113. So take full advantage of it. For only $10.10 or Kenya shillings 1010, you can get both a whole year subscription to weekly intelligence briefings and also my sets of videos on how to cope and maybe even prosper in a dead economy like what we're faced with. And of course that also includes the 3 very valuable ebooks, 101 ideas that will thrive in a dead economy, how to get customers quickly right away, without even advertising, and the other ebook about side hustles, where you already have a job but things are so tough. Chances are that you definitely need a side hustle. You can see details on your screens right now. Rush for it, because again, this offer will not last long. 72 hours tops, okay, and counting. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.